Hey everybody, welcome to another video review. It's been a while since I've done one of these and I sort of wanted to get back in the saddle again. I will kind of drift in and out of these video reviews depending on my time and how I feel. But I wanted to come back to talk about these beautiful Los Angeles Lakers replica championship rings. So I have two other videos on YouTube, a really long one talking about the 2020, right over here, the 2020 championship ring. That was a long one, mainly because there was a lot to talk about. Championship rings have become more and more elaborate and bigger. They're kind of, packed with meaning, a lot more symbolism. And so there was a lot to that ring, a very, very complicated ring. And of course, there was a lot of history, and it meant a lot too, because it was the first Lakers championship in 10 years. The last championship was won by Kobe Bryant against the Boston Celtics in a classic 7-game series. And obviously, LeBron James and Anthony Davis and our team won the 2020 championship the year that Kobe died in that tragic helicopter accident, and also they won the championship during the COVID pandemic. So there was a lot to talk about for this championship. And then I got, I think, the 2010 championship ring. I think there's a video of that that's on there as well. And over the last several months, I've slowly sort of bought all of the other championship rings from what I kind of consider the more modern era. And so those are basically the Kobe rings, the 3 in a row he won with Shaq, and then the 2 that he won essentially by himself with the help of Pau Gasol and Odom and Bynum, and then of course the most recent with LeBron and Anthony Davis. So those are the 6 that I managed to get. I got all of these from a very, very kind of like a high quality replica ring establishment in China. And they make very, very high quality, beautiful rings. And I can get into some of that. So I was wondering, whether I wanted to make another like 4 videos or whether I wanted just to combine all of them. And I decided just to combine them, just mainly because there's not a whole lot to talk about with all of these rings, and I didn't think it would be quite enough to make a separate video. Each one would just take a few minutes after all. So I have another phone actually next to me, which I've brought up. The information of the various rings. It's from NBA.com. So I figured I would just start with the very first one, and we can talk about what that means. So we're going to just take this. And by the way, I bought so many of these, by the way, that the company was gracious enough to actually just gift me this really nice box. It's very classy. It displays all of the rings, 6 of them. You can sort of display it like this so that you can actually see it. This part here is a little bit scratched. You really can't help that, but you open it up and it looks very, very beautiful. Okay, so let's before taking it out, let's just get some basic stuff out of the way. So all of the rings are made of sterling silver. That's the base. You can choose that for the weight. It costs about an extra $100 and I don't know, $20, $130. But it makes the ring feel heavier than the copper. That's the base model. And then it's plated with, I think, either 10 or 14 karat gold, very thin electrical plating. And then all of the precious stones are basically cubic zirconia. What separates these rings from the cheap ones that you may see on eBay or Amazon is that is the workmanship. The molds are all exact. All of the reliefs are very, very deep. They're basically indistinguishable from the actual real thing. And all of the cubic zirconia are not glued or whatever. They're all prong set. And so there's a lot of labor in creating the ring. I mean, essentially, what this company does is it kind of makes the actual championship ring for you, as if you were a player, as if it was genuine, except that the material is obviously cheaper than the 14 karat gold and the real diamonds and rubies and amethysts that the real thing would be. But in terms of the workmanship and the labor, it's very much the same. Okay, and it's to the point where if you have the money and you're willing to, you can actually substitute all of the cubic zirconia for real gems, and you can ask for 14 karat, and essentially for a price that's in the tens of thousands of dollars, you can have essentially a real ring, just not official, but the materials are all the same. So those are all the rings are the same, are like that. This is the most expensive just because it's the largest, requires the most molds, because whereas these are just single rings, this one actually comes apart. The lid actually comes apart, and there's multiple parts that has to be molded. There's a lot more detail to this, which again, you can see in my video review. And then these other ones are quite a bit smaller. So we'll start with the 2000 championship ring. So you can see here, world champions, the Lakers, and you can see the diamonds on the side right here. This is a size 12. It's actually almost big enough for my thumb. I kind of wanted different sizes so it can fit on all of the fingers. I can actually have five rings if I really wanted to. But size 12 is just can barely fit on my thumb, but actually fits my middle finger and my index finger actually the most comfortably. I measure my ring finger on my left hand. I think it's 9.5 is actually the most comfortable, and then my pinky is an 8. But in any case, this is the first ring that Kobe and Shaq won. So from the NBA.com webpage, some information. This was made by Henry K. Jewelers of Chicago and Masters of Design of Attleboro Falls, Massachusetts. They designed and produced this ring. It has 40 pennyweights of 14 karat yellow gold, and it contains 2.05 carats of diamonds. The top is paved in brilliant cut diamonds with the Lakers logo on the top. You can see on the side here, I chose Kobe Bryant. You could just as easily, of course, choose Shaquille O'Neal or whoever you want. But on the side, you have the name of the player as well as his number. So you will recall that Kobe wore number 8 in his first stretch with the Lakers. You can see the NBA logo, and then you can see the regular season record as well as the playoff record. All right. Back then, if you're wondering why it's only 15 games, the first game was a best out of 5, not a best out of 7 as it is today. So that's the side of the ring. And then on the other side, you can see the actual quarter carat brilliant cut diamond. That's the ball going in the net. You can see the year of the championship, year 2000. That's at the bottom. And then at the top, in quotation marks, is bling bling. And this is in reference to what Shaquille O'Neal told his teammates. He said that, their championship rings are going to go bling bling when they finally win it, and that's sort of to honor, what Shaq told his teammates. Remember, this was their first ring, so quite the achievement. You can see all these brilliant, cut diamonds at the top. Lakers world champions. Very, very nice ring, pretty. One thing is that here you can see that this is sort of an antique finish, and this replica company does do antique finishes for at least this ring, mainly because it has the detail of the lettering. It comes out much better with the antique finish, and by antique finish I mean kind of the black background. So you can clearly see, Bryant 08, and of course the bling bling. Now the actual championship ring is identical to this, except that the entire thing is in 14 karat gold, and so there's no antique finish. It's just basically gold finish. I guess you could always request that, but the problem is if it's gold, then you really lose essentially the contrast. So you have to look really, really close to see the words and the names and all that, because it'll all be one color. And I've actually seen it. I actually saw the real ring on the NBA.com website, and I don't know. I mean, I think it looks good, but I don't know how pretty it would look or how beautiful it would look when if it's all yellow. So I'm okay with this, but if you want to be a real stickler for authenticity, you would probably have to request that they use the original gold finish throughout, even though that will wash out a lot of the detail. So this is, again, the first Lakers ring, the Kobe Shaq era, year 2000. So we're going to put that back. And then we're going to move on to the second one. This is 2001. This is a much smaller ring. It can go on my ring finger, I suppose. So this is, of course, the 2001. You can see again the antique finishing, and once again, without the antique finish, all of this detail would just be completely washed out. So yeah, I'm a little bit torn about that. And you'll see some of the later rings that doesn't quite have that, and you can decide whether it's nicer to have this effect or not. So here we have world champions, the Lakers. You can see the two Larry O'Brien trophies all decked out in diamond to symbolize the repeat championship. Again, Henry K. Jewelers of Chicago and Masters of Design of Attleboro Falls, Massachusetts, designed and produced this ring. It was completely designed in the United States, manufactured in the US, so not in China, in the Masters of Design's own factory. It weighs approximately 42 pennyweights of 14 karat yellow gold, and it contains approximately 1.07 carats of white diamonds. The ring's top is paved in brilliant genuine yellow diamonds, so you can actually see the yellow diamonds all the way around here. And the yellow diamonds weigh approximately 0.60 carats. This is the first time in NBA history that yellow diamonds were used in the design of a championship ring. You have the diamond-encrusted NBA championship trophies. And of course, as is something that has to be done for all championship rings, you have to have world champions somewhere on the ring. Let's take a look at the side. So here you have again the player's name, and then you have the regular season record at the bottom, as well as the playoff record on the top, and then the player's number on the side, and the NBA logo in color on the side. On the opposite side, you have back-to-back, the year of the championship, and the Los Angeles Lakers logo right over there. So the triangle is also very prominently featured, and that's to honor Phil Jackson's triangle offense. The playoff record here, as you can see, is 15-1. They did that, so it's not 15-7. It's actually 15-1. Okay, and that's the best in league history. The only loss came against Allen Iverson and the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, when the Lakers had a lot of time off. They were maybe a little bit rusty, and Allen Iverson was the MVP of the league that year, and at the height of his powers. So there you go, right here. Very nice ring. The last ring is the three-peat ring. This was in 2002. Again, you can appreciate the antique finish of this ring. Again, they chose Masters of Design to manufacture it. And the team that created it was headed up by Howard Kaplan and Bob Bourbeau. It's made from 14-karat yellow gold. It weighs approximately 50 pennyweight. That was the heaviest ring the Lakers had ever presented at that time. You can see around the bezel is the world champions, and you see you have the Lakers at the very top. The bottom are 8 brilliant cut diamonds. They weigh about 0.4 carats total weight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so these 8 diamonds represent the 8 championships which they had won under the ownership of Dr. Jerry Buss. And at the top of the bezel, there are 6 diamonds. You can see the 6 here in the corners, 3 and 3. They weigh approximately 0.30 carat total weight. And those represent the 6 other titles won by the Los Angeles and Minneapolis Lakers. So one of those 6 diamonds was won by Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain in the 70s. And the other 5 were won by the Lakers when they were in Minneapolis. So all told, back in 2002, this represented their 14th championship, at the time second behind only the Boston Celtics. So as you can see, as the years have progressed, there's been more and more symbolism. So let's get down to it. At the top, there are actually 61 round yellow diamonds weighing approximately 0.75 carats total weight. And these stones are set in yellow gold, and the yellow diamonds represents, of course, one of the official colors of the Lakers, right? Obviously yellow. In the center of the top is a 1.50 carat genuine amethyst, which is bezel set, and the color of the amethyst is purple, which is royal purple, another one of the Lakers colors, one of the official colors of the Lakers. Around the bezel are the words, you can see around the little bezel, the words back to back to back, signifying the 3 consecutive championships, the three-peat. And these are also 3 so-called trillion cut genuine white diamonds weighing approximately 0.75 carats total weight. And these represent the 3 championships in a row. And of course, again, it's a callback to the triangle offense. You can see the triangle here, back to back to back, 3, the purple amethyst, and then these are 3 triangles as well. These are the 3 championships. And again, paying homage to the triangle offense of Phil Jackson and Tex Winters. On the side, of course, you have the player's name and number, as well as their playoff record and regular season record. This is the same for all three championship rings from 2000, 2001, and 2002. And then on the other side, you have the Los Angeles Lakers logo, the year of the championship. And of course, you have this microphone, okay? And then the words in quotation marks, slam dunk. The microphone has the word chick next to it. You can see it now here, CHICK, right here. You can see chick right there. And then the microphone, and this is of course to honor the legendary announcer Chick Hearn, who did pass away over the off season after this championship. And on the and the slam dunk is one of Chick Hearn's many sayings. So again, a lot of symbolism here on both sides. If you look closely, of course, this is not a completely perfect replica. They don't have, I think, very easily yellow cubic zirconia diamonds. So if you look carefully, the diamonds are actually still white. But against the yellow 14 karat plating, it does have this yellowish tinge. And of course, the antique finish versus all gold. So this is a smaller ring size. It's a pinky ring here. You can either wear it as a pinky ring on either side. Here you go. So the only difference, again, among the 2000, 2001, 2002 rings are the antique finish, and again, the yellow diamonds. They don't really have those. So that's the original three-peat. Let's get to the Orlando Magic. This is in 2009. So Shaq had moved on. And for whatever reason, the official championship ring, the Lakers again decided to use antique finish. Who knows? Maybe they decided that using completely just gold just washes out, again, a lot of the detail. You lose out on the contrast. And so maybe they decided that antique finish looks pretty good. But so in this case, fortunately, this is an almost exact replica because the real thing is also antique finished. So let's talk a little bit about what makes this ring special. Apparently, the gold used to make this ring is 15 karat. It's a really odd carat. Usually it's 10, 14, 18, 24. 15 is a very odd carat, but this was to represent the 15th championship earned by the organization. So they decided to make the rings with 15 karat gold. Dr. Buss requested that there be 14 diamonds surrounded the top of the ring, symbolizing the previous 14 franchise championships. And the Larry O'Brien trophy in the middle, this is the Larry O'Brien trophy in the middle, with the Lakers logo is the 15th championship. So if you count very closely, you will count 14 diamonds on both sides. So 14 championships, and then the championship in the middle, the 15th. You have the year 2009, world champions, and you have the Lakers logo, of course. Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant requested that a player image be put on the side of the player ring, and within that image will rest an etching of the respective jersey numbers. So that is what they did, and you can see here Kobe Bryant's face, and the etching number 24 is his jersey number. I think that's actually completely insane that we've gotten to a point where they can actually put an individual player's face on the side of the ring. I mean, that's, in my opinion, pretty crazy that that that's actually a thing, but there you go. For non-players, instead of their mug, it's actually the Los Angeles skyline. Okay. The ring here is actually two-toned, white gold representing the Lakers' Sunday white uniforms that actually honor the legendary broadcaster Chick Hearn. The real ring has actually a serial number, and there are hidden etchings of the Lakers logo as well to protect authenticity, which obviously this one does not have that. And finally, the general manager of the Lakers, Mitch Kupchak, contributed the idea to include the records of every individual playoff. And so on the other side of the ring, along with the, of course, NBA logo, and X5, I would assume, is the 15th championship they've won. You can see the actual records of each of these playoffs, culminating with a 4-1 5-game victory over the Orlando Magic. Okay, so this is the 2009 LA Lakers championship ring. Very beautiful. And then finally, we'll get to the 2010 ring that they won against the Boston Celtics. I won't go into too much detail on that because I have a separate YouTube video dedicated to this. But in short, every one of these rings has a very tiny piece of the ball that was used in Game 7 of the 2010 NBA Finals. Obviously, the 2 Larry O'Brien trophies on either side represent the back-to-back titles. It's made from a custom batch of 16 karat gold. So again, in keeping with the with the trend from the last championship ring, as this is their 16th NBA title, it's now 16 karat gold. 16 is very prominently featured. So there are 16 oversized diamonds at the bottom and the top to symbolize the 16 championships that the franchise has won. You have the immortalized relief of the player's face. I guess here they up their game. It's a much better version of Kobe Bryant than the other one. And of course his number etched in here. And then Sweet 16 for the 16 championships. And then on the other side, you have the records, and now they're nice enough to include the teams that they beat: OKC, Utah, Phoenix, and Boston. 2010 World Champions, the NBA logo, and of course that epic battle. You actually have the score of Game 7, and at the bottom you have the regular season record. So as you can see, with the progression of rings, that things are there's just more to it, right? The rings are getting bigger, and there's more story to tell. You can see the year 2009 to 2010. That's the year of the championship. So each ring, it just has more history, more diamonds, more gold, more symbolism. From the relatively simple, I believe, 2001 to this one, which is already pretty actually involved, to the point where they actually would put a little tiny piece of the ball somewhere hidden on the ring. And then we culminate with, of course, the daddy of them all, which is the, holy cow, this is crazy heavy, which is the 2021. So you can see that without the antique finish, it's just kind of hard to see everything. But with a ring this expensive, they really wanted to make it like a completely perfect replica. I spent over 40 minutes talking about this ring, so I'm not going to repeat myself. It is a dazzling piece of jewelry. I can tell you that right now. So there you go. And this was designed by Jason of Beverly Hills, of course. So yeah, it's really beautiful, and they took care of, I guess, the way, the problem. If you just use gold, they just kind of shifted the color a little bit, and the etching is so deep and the relief is so deep that I think you can pretty nicely appreciate the name James, as well as leave a legacy, the number, all of these things. And you can even, if you want to go close enough, you can see the snake, the black mamba, in the background of the name. Now, my initial review of this, actually, there's actually a postscript to add to it. So a few things. Number one, there was an error on the actual undersurface of this top. So one of the things that made this ring so big and expensive is that the top can be twisted off. This is something that Jason of Beverly Hills is kind of their calling card. They also designed the championship rings for the Warriors and also featured a twistable top. So the undersurface of the top has the names of the team. And so I'm going to gently turn it. And they unfortunately spelled one of the Lakers teammates, they spelled the name wrong. And so here, of course, you can see all the retired jerseys, as well as Kobe Bryant's 2 numbers, and in black, highlighting how special he is. And then you can have the black mamba scaled texture here. So the problem here is that, I'm just gonna put this here temporarily, is that on the undersurface, they spelled Quinn Cook's name wrong. And so I sent the ring back so they could spell it right. And here you can see that indeed, if you look at Quinn Cook, that they did correct it. It was spelled previously Quiwn. Another problem is that the ring was really badly scratched. And this is sort of an inevitable consequence of the magnets. So apparently I did ask them, and you need the magnets in order for you to keep this top from being unsteady. These little hooks are not enough to keep it in place. But if you have the magnets in place, then when you twist, you will inevitably create these little scratches. And believe it or not, I had them actually replate the ring when I sent it back for it to have this error fixed. And so when I got it, I only sent back the top. I didn't send back the actual entire ring. So when I got the top, this was all perfectly smooth. I put the top on and twisted it into place, and I took it out. This is the first time I've twisted the top off to show you the correction. And you can see that the scratch is already there, which means that it really is impossible. It's impossible not to have a scratch when you have these magnets. Now, an interesting, again, side note, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl in 2020. And guess what? Jason Beverly Hills also designed their Super Bowl ring. I'm not like the biggest Bucs fan in the world. I am a pretty big Tom Brady fan. I think what he's done is just amazing. But that ring that Jason Beverly Hills designed for the Bucs is just a thing of beauty, and I couldn't resist buying it. And so I do have a replica, again, with a removable top and all of that. So I do have a replica of that coming in. And basically when they showed the actual original Super Bowl ring, see, I'm trying to just, be careful, but I can tell that when you're doing it, you can already tell that there's going to be scratch just because of the way it is. It's, again, impossible to do it without it. But in any case, when you see the original Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2020 Super Bowl ring, they showed it, and there's scratches on the undersurface of the removable top for the Bucks ring. And that's the real thing, you know. So it just shows you that even with them, it's just going to get scratched. Now, of course, their rings are actual 14 karat gold, which means that, you know, the scratches are a little bit less visible, but still, it's a kind of an inevitable problem that you have to accept if you want the coolness of having this, like, you know, removable top. And I, for one, I'm willing to put up with that because it's so cool, and it just kind of increases the canvas of the story that you want to tell, that you have that extra things. Because from this top, you look at the undersurface, every single member of the team gets their names immortalized, etched on the undersurface, unity. And then, of course, you know, having the snake skin in black, Kobe's 2 numbers in black, and every jersey that the Lakers have ever retired. There's so much history, you know, there's just so much history to that I think it is worth the inevitable scratches you have to put up with as you twist it on and off. So they do tell you to not do that all the time. I did it again for this review to kind of showcase that, and you can hear me pop it back into place. So there you have it. I'm going to put this back into position. This is so big, by the way, that it doesn't even fit into the, you know, the divot. You have to really kind of force it in. So there you have it. This is sort of the highlight of all 6 of the Lakers rings in the modern era. I know that Magic is also, you know, I mean, is also kind of, he's not ancient history, you know, so it's not like Magic is ancient, right? Like, but a lot of those rings, of course, were won in the 80s, and I'm a little bit torn about whether I want to get those because for those of you who are not into, you know, championship replicas, for most of the 70s, even to the early 80s, every single NBA championship ring was like identical. You know, it has like the logo, world champion, it has a single, I guess, diamond in the center of the ring. And essentially the only thing that changed from year to year was the name of the team on the ring. But every single ring was the same design, which was quite boring. And the Lakers rings in the beginning were kind of like that. They're pretty simplistic. And of all of them, only the one in 1988, which was the last of the 5 rings that Magic Johnson, you know, was a part of, that one was cool. You know, still, in my opinion, doesn't really hold a candle to these guys here. But, you know, it was cool. But that might be the only one I'm even mildly tempted to think about getting. But I think I'm pretty happy. I mean, for me at least, you know, these rings have the most or the more emotional meaning for me because I was in college. Let me try to think to myself. In 2000, you know, I was, yeah, in 2000, I was in actually medical school. So, you know, sort of during a lot of my formative years and then residency as a, you know, in residency training was when all of these championships here were won. And of course here, and I was an adult. So these kind of have the most meaning for me. Magic won a lot of his rings. I was just a kid in 1988. I was only 13 years old, so wasn't even in high school, actually, when he won the last of his NBA championship rings. So these have a bit more meaning for me, you know. And I'll probably keep it at that. I don't think that the first 5 and the one that Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain won are good enough, you know, rings to warrant, you know, getting replicas. So there you go. About 40 minutes, which is how much I spent on just this one ring here, but you can kind of see all of it together, which is pretty awesome. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Lakers. If you're a Lakers fan, this is sort of like, you know, the ultimate cool kind of collectibles, right? You get to have all the rings in one little display case. I'm really happy about that. Really pretty. I have it on my shelf, and it's actually wearable. So it's cool to have a nice piece of history, and hopefully, you know, I'll be able to get a few more replicas of new championships they have yet to win. Let's go Lakers for this year. Until next time, until the next video, do take care. Bye-bye.